Hi, and welcome to Passport to Adventure. I'm Mark Jennings.
And I'm Julie Conover. Sometimes, even as a seasoned traveler, you run across a place that totally takes you by surprise.
For many, Guam is just a name, or maybe you've got a vague idea about its location.
I confess, it took me a bit of searching to locate it in my atlas, but once I did, I was immediately intrigued.
Due to its strategic location in the Western Pacific, Guam has historically played an important role in trading and in several wars.
And its proximity to Asia gives this Micronesian island an interesting heritage and modern-day cultural mix.
Guam's warm, clear tropical waters and many marine reserves shelter numerous aquatic species and boast some of the best snorkeling and diving in the world.
The island offers lush jungle scenery, hiking, caves, and awe-inspiring views of the Pacific.
It's all coming up next on Passport to Adventure. Guam sits between Japan, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Hawaii, vaguely. More specifically, it's the largest of the Micronesian islands and is perched right next to the deepest point in the ocean, the Mariana Trench.
Guam is a sultry Pacific island with distinctly Asian flavor that seems to have fallen off the time machine in 1960s America. It makes for a very endearing combination.
Happy day!
Half a day is the always exuberant Guamanian greeting for, hey, what's up?
There's a misconception that Guam is just one big military installation, but it's really a vacation hotspot. The sightseeing is incredible. The beaches are gorgeous. Everyone's really upbeat down here.
The island's climate is warm and steamy year-round. Clouds dance over the land to cool everyone off, once in a while bringing a brief but intense shower. These little squalls usually last only a few minutes and often finish off with a magical rainbow.
Guam's history is one of successive occupations. In the quiet capital city, Hagåtña, this cultural influx is easily explored.
The Laddie Park is the beginning of the Heritage Walk, where you can truly feel the spirit of Guam's rich and varied history. The indigenous Chamorros built thatched houses elevated on giant coral foundations like these, called Laddie in Chamorro.
Guam's capital, Hagåtña, is the oldest European settlement in the Pacific.
300 years as a Spanish colony left a deep impact on the island's language, architecture, and culture. Since the arrival of the Jesuit missionaries in the 1600s, Catholicism has been an integral part of Guam's culture, and each village honors a patron saint. Today's Chamorro language is peppered with words derived from Spanish.
After our walking tour through Hagåtña, we were ready for an entirely different kind of latte.
Guam is only a 3-hour flight from Tokyo, so Japanese make up the majority of the visitors, adding even more variety to the cultural mix. Tumon is the resort area where most of the tourists stay. The beach is a playground lined with umbrellas and water toys, while the strip behind the resorts is action-packed with duty-free shopping, restaurants, and even an aquarium.
After a full day of activities, visitors at Underwater World can grab a cocktail and immerse themselves in the wonders of the deep. When you finish communing with the exotic creatures, you can step out into the night where the stores are still buzzing with activity.
Because most of the package tourists never leave Tumon, the rest of Guam is a ripe fruit waiting to be plucked by the independent traveler.
The southern part of the island is relatively untouched by tourism, but there is much to see. Historical sites, small villages, scenic overlooks, and a chance to meet the locals at every turn.
Stopping at this roadside stand with our buddy Cindy, we sampled some uniquely prepared tropical fruit and tuba, the local grog. What is tuba?
Tuba is fermented coconut juice, right? Yeah.
Like coconut wine.
Like coconut wine.
Oh, tastes like wine and tastes like coconut.
I prefer the papaya, but the pickled mango's not bad.
I like this.
The mango?
I both. And what are these little those are the calamansi?
Chewy one, they like calamansi.
And
This
these
is
are red
the local lemon.
lemon. I love those.
Yeah, it's good.
For history buffs, Guam offers a plethora of sites, spanning from before Magellan's arrival all the way to World War II.
Guam was governed by Spain from 1565 until 1898, when the U.S. gained control of the island in the Spanish-American War.
Now this is Fort Soledad. This is probably the best example of the Spanish fort from the Spanish period here on Guam.
The fort was built to protect galleons returning to Spain, laden with the treasures of the Orient.
They would have their guard in the little fort over here, and it's got the windows around so that they could actually have a 360 view to spot any pirate ships out there. So it's really beautiful. I don't think I would have minded being the guy assigned up here. It was such a beautiful view to look at all day long.
Although there's some debate to the claim, the idyllic village of Umatic celebrates the Spanish explorer Magellan landing here during the first circumnavigation of the globe.
Every year we do reenactments of Magellan's landing. They get up in the conquistador, costumes, and it's very authentic, and it's a big weekend celebration. It happens in March. It's just a beautiful village. You can see a lot of the architecture hasn't really changed over the years. There's some Spanish influence. Now this is a very teeny tiny village, but we love to eat here on Guam, so you note that even here we're going to have some restaurants.
Guam's World War II sites are well marked on the tourism maps, and each location provides detailed information.
The Japanese were retreating. There were like over 55,000 American soldiers participating in the liberation of Guam, and the Japanese only had roughly about 20,000. They were outnumbered. Guam was the focal point because we are the closest to Japan. That was the last mission of World War II, the last bombing mission. So Guam played a major role.
This time of year is humid, but between the waterfalls, beaches, and natural pools, there are plenty of opportunities to refresh yourself.
These pools are just outside Inarajan, a wonderful example of a Guamanian village.
We met the delightful Judy Flores, who shared with us her passion for her home and its enduring culture.
Inarajan is one of the oldest villages. The streets were laid out by the Spanish missionaries in 1680. The houses you see now date back to the early 1900s. The one here that's just a frame left dates back to at least 1883 is the date we have. It's a pole house construction, and it dates back to the Malaysian roots.
So Judy, I understand this is a pretty significant building in your life.
Yeah, I came here when I was 11. I was baptized in this church, and I got married in this church. Yeah, it was built by hand. Buckets of cement were mixed by volunteers in the village.
Wow. How many villagers would have contributed to this?
Hundreds, volunteers from every family. That was expected. And that's the beauty of Inarajan, is that not only are the houses existing, the families have existed here for generation after generation. But it was a wonderful place to grow up, just completely immersed in the culture. When I came, people were just starting to talk to their babies in English, and that was the beginning of the end. Very few Chamorro youth speak Chamorro today.
So it took one generation?
Took one generation.
At the Gefpago Cultural Center, visitors can see demonstrations of traditional dance, palm frond weaving, coconut candy making, and salt extraction from seawater.
What we do is we pick the water out from the reef, boil it within the 2 days, and then we pick up salt.
You want to hit it right in the middle.
Whoa.
With this grated coconut, that's when you can make your coconut candy or you can make your oil.
This is the tool to strip it. What I'm weaving in here is plasma.
Today we have a revival of the Chamorro culture, especially through the dance groups. They've been able to reach out to the younger generation and get them interested in their past. They really have the heart for it. They have embraced their cultural roots.
I got more chances in joining this group to learn the Chamorro culture than any Chamorros out there. I get to actually live it.
To me, dancing, it's sort of like my sanctuary. It keeps me focused and it makes me so happy.
And it's fun.
Beautiful girls.
Beautiful girl. That's always a plus. So when you get good exercise, you're going to be studly guys?
Yes.